Steve here. Welcome to Red Flag Life, episode 4. Today, the nature of men. Episode 3 was the nature of women. Nature of men now. It's not really bringing up red flags, but you can draw inferences, correlate, and all that sort of thing, right? So the nature of men is higher risk takers. The way they reason, I've mentioned this in the ladies part, but the way they reason is practically more so through logic, very much less so through feelings and emotion, but they're not immune from feelings and emotion, that's for sure. No matter what the current woke sort of I guess ideology is teaching us that there's no such thing as genders, and well, all you have to say is genitals, testosterone, estrogen, and the like. Okay, so even by saying there's no such thing as gender implies gender, right? So anyway, that's yes. I'm on the right side of the political spectrum by referencing that. Oh my God, there's actually male and female out there. Come on. Anyway, that's a good little side note for the nature of men, and men will make that sort of argument more so than a lady, which is on the woke left, that's for sure. Anyway, I keep on digressing. I've got to stop that. So, male toxicity, toxic masculinity. Oh my goodness. That whole toxic term means aggression, and you need a bit of mongrel, a bit of aggression in the past to protect your tribe, your community, your nation, and by dissing on the dudes, it's not a very good side effect of the whole woke ideological spectrum. Yes, feminism, first wave, second wave, feminism, yes, good. But this third, fourth, fifth wave stuff, well, I can't even comment on it because it's so way out there. But anyway, the nature of men is that men value freedom, liberty, which is part of freedom. A liberty is without authority, without rulers. Yes, most men advocate for governments and that sort of thing, but that's because they can't, possibly mention anything about not having small government or no government, because the women would say, how will I feed my kids, children? How will I school my children? Well, you should be schooling your children. Yes, this whole socialized education system, pretty much, it's like, a duck will imprint on a yellow balloon if it's the first thing it sees when it comes out of an egg. Like, we're pretty much bonding our children to the government with public schools. Oh, they don't respect me, and as in our kids, they don't respect me, they're not listening to me. The whole female thought, listening equals compliance, following my instructions. Well, you're putting them into daycare, you're putting them into public schools. Anyway, this is about dudes. This is about dudes, okay? So men value freedom more than women. Women say they value freedom, but you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You can't have freedom and then also expect safety, security. Who's going to educate my kids and give me healthcare and all that sort of thing? That's a whole different minefield. But anyway, so yes, there's red flags in aggressive men, physical abusers, heaven forbid sexual abusers. Okay, but we're not immune from female abusers. Females use the fists of other men on men. Men historically have had to take the risk of another man's fist, or club, or rock, or sword, or gun. So there was a bit of a pecking order in that respect, where with women, I sort of probably should have mentioned this in the Nature of Women, episode 3, that women their swords, their clubs, their rocks, their guns, a women's weapon. Risk is reputation damage. That's not much of a hassle anymore. Like, it's a badge of honor for a woman to be a slut, isn't it? Anyway, another digression. So, bad-mouthing women, gossiping, ostracizing and the like, okay, where the men, they had to account for violence and possible death. Going through the speed camera, I was worried then. So, and that's the difference with the risks of men, the risks of women, right? Yes, men have a more of a spray and pray approach to partners, sexual activity. They have less need to bond with a partner versus women. I also should have mentioned in the Nature of Women episode, where for each man, a sexual encounter or someone that a woman bonds with, at least, which for many women is certainly when a sexual encounter comes into play. It's like scotch tape, sticky tape, sellotape. You stick it on the first partner. Oh, they bond more likely. It's the best bond that sticky tape will have. You rip it off, you stick it back on. There's less stick. There's less bond, right? Build it up to half a dozen partners. The woman's going to have less capacity to bond with the gent that she's with, and then by the time a woman is age 28, and Richard Cooper mentions the epiphany phase, where some of their friends are getting married and they've had 30 sexual partners, and some are on their first divorce by then. Their ability to bond is like you rip that sticky tape off the fourth and fifth time, like it's not going to stick much anymore, is it? So thanks, Stefan Molyneux, for that syllogism. So women bond more with their sexual partners. Men, they've got more propensity to take it or leave it. Men bond with a woman. It may be the 36th sexual encounter, where the man will bond with that woman because of her qualities, her values, virtues. So it's like the man is like the super glue that comes in after the fifth ripping off of tape. The super glue comes in. They can bond with number 5 easier than the first bond with the women. hope you follow what I'm getting at. So the man can choose to when to bond. They sow their wild oats type thing, you know, the old historical adage. It's amazing how, you know, women are supposed to marry their first sexual encounter, like even biblically, but the dudes, they can just go for it. So if they're going for it, they're ruining, you know, those women. So yes, the whole MGTOWs, the red pill guys, and the whole Chad, Stacey, Nancy concepts. Women have got it so good. Well, they don't really. Women have to make decisions, and many of them are mammalian for resource purposes, status, vanity, which is quite important, the way we live life in this day and age, and that's a mammalian necessity. I don't blame women for their hypergamy, for their only 20% of men are considered attractive to a woman, where men feel that 50% of women are attractive. So yeah, how about that? And those social media, those dating apps, swipe left and right and like and whatever. Don't do that crap anyway, but it's very woman-centric. Women get their secondary gains for a lot of years through that. On the other hand, men are damaged through porn. And one of the reasons why there's sexual performance issues is, particularly for men, is porn. We get it, right? We get it. I don't need to really discuss exactly what's going on there. Stimulus, expectation, let down of reality, the whole thing, right? Women to make. I'm focusing on women too much for a blokey. The nature of guys. Okay. I need to change a bit of tack. Men have also benefited through the welfare state. Women benefit through the welfare state by taking calculated risk, mammalian decision making, resource acquisition. If the man isn't providing a certain amount, there is a calculated decision that the woman is going to leave that man for government handouts. And more so, government handouts are becoming more of an income stream than what a man can provide. And women have to make hard decisions. And they do all the time. 80% of divorces. Oh my God, back on the women. But so men are benefiting from the liberty of women, so-called liberty of women, feminism. How could I forget that whole concept? So men have benefited from socializing more and more female mistakes since the late 60s, with more sexual access to women. Even the guys that are in the 80% of not so good looking ones, they're getting more benefits, more access than before. A man's access to porn probably gives them less drives, gives particular type types of men, less drive to better themselves, to gain resources and careers, to be able to gain resources, because a lot of their time is spent climaxing to porn. And it's a sad state of affairs for men and for women. So the whole patriarchy, are you kidding me? Patriarchy, really? Men get paid more? Well, yeah, that's a whole ethical and philosophical sort of discussion. This is a red flag life, after all. Basically, women are drawn to people interaction oriented occupations, and unfortunately they don't pay as much. And one quick sort of challenge to men get paid more than women is just look up the pay rate for a bus driver, a nurse, a teacher, and a doctor. Guess what? Their pay rates aren't different, their hourly rates aren't different. So you've got to do some real serious massaging to see that there's a pay gap. And the pay gaps come down to dividing up the different occupations that the men and women are drawn to. Yes, there's men and women in any occupation, but construction jobs pay more than hairdressers. Accounts receivable clerk certainly pays less than a computer programmer. STEM is catered towards men. Well, men just have more interest in that area. Women have better abilities, better talents in language, and often language is pays less than math, science, engineering, math, science, engineering, the whole math STEM acronym: science, technology, engineering, math. There you go. Yes, there's women in STEM. Yes, there should be more. There's brilliant women in STEM. Yes, certainly. But not as many as men are drawn to. That's the unfortunate reality of just general preference, okay? Just preferences. Women prefer jobs that pay less. But the same men in those jobs are still getting the hourly rate, so I don't understand the whole pay gap thing. Patriarchy. Men getting paid more. Really? Does a male nurse get paid more than a female nurse? Well, they do actually. Not per hour. If women work less hours, they take more sick leave. Oh yes they do. Oh yes they do. They take more holidays, more sick leave, and more unpaid leave, and more, oh my goodness, stress leave and the like. Because women have complicated needs, expectations, wants, family caring responsibility, not just with the man that they have a relationship with, but women take on more of the elderly caring role and that sort of thing, the disabled and whatnot as well. Yes, some men do it too. Men have more super. Well, that's because they've worked more. There's more women being churned out as medical graduates, but there's less of them practicing once they're graduated. Yes, it's a big investment they've just put in and into their education, and then They don't practice. It's that. Well, that's not so much a factor with medicine, but certainly engineering. There's so many female engineers that don't engineer. You know, the male graduates get paid more. Well, because they're working. Okay, I know I'm stepping on a few toes, but come on. Women are drawn to HR jobs, people-oriented jobs, admin and hairdressing, mental health, general health, counselling, because that's what they're good at. Men are technical, mechanics, builders, that sort of thing, because they've got aptitude for technical stuff. Yeah. And if I was to step on more toes by saying there's IQ differences between the sexes, oh my goodness. But what if I told you that the average IQ of a woman in the world might be 101 and the average IQ of a man might be 99? Well, you know, but women average their IQs between 85 and 115, but the men might average 65 to 200. Yes, more men in higher IQ groups, but also there's more men in lower IQ groups. In that respect, some men are smarter than women. Once you get to the Metzers and that whole Metzer complex, there's probably 30 to 1 men, but there's probably 30 to 1 women in the imbecile category of IQ 60. We certainly can't say that there's 30 to 1 smart men, but we can say that there's 30 to 1 smart men in the 60s, IQ 60 level, like, gee, Anyway, this is the nature of men. It was much simpler, wasn't it? Much simpler. I mentioned porn, I mentioned freedom, and that was it. That's the moral of the story for men. Access, sexual access, which they've benefited from, visual and real, and that's stuffing up our relationships. And freedom. Freedom in business. Men also get into strife like women do. Men get into strife like this red flag, taking risks, ending up as an ex-crim, and ending up in baby jail. Unfortunate, yes, I know. I think my next video, I know this is red flag life. This is going to be about trying to live life as a person with multiple red flags, maybe even one, but multiple. Many of us have multiple. But I'm trying to lay a bit of a foundation. I'm going to add one more video after this, which is not that red flag oriented. It's just the nature of things, what our parents should teach us. That feels like the next episode. So my idea here is to produce like half a dozen videos, boink, put them on as part of launching the channel, and then we can concentrate on living as a person with red flags. Yes, unintended. Yes, we knew what we were getting into. Come on, we knew what we're getting into with our risks. And let's live life with that baggage soon, with that content to come. That's it for now. 24 minutes, not too bad. 25 minutes. all good. Until the next episode, ciao.